Hello Sunshines, welcome back. Today we're doing an update on pregnancy talk. I don't know what we're calling this series yet. I'm just calling it Preggo Talk, I guess. And today we're basically following up with the announcement video that we did. And we're going to be doing a little Q&A, well not little Q&A, a big Q&A with the most asked and most important questions from the last video that I jotted down. And I also went on Instagram and Twitter 2 days ago and asked you guys what you want to know, and to feel free to not hold back and ask any questions. So I have a whole 20 questions here that were repeated from over 300 people. So here we go.
Wait, before we start, this is my suit. This is my pajamas that she said I wouldn't wear. What video was that?
It was the last one. The last pregnancy talk video. You guys heard me complain about how...
Oh, the announcement, when you announced it. Yeah.
In the last video, I just said that you guys haven't seen his whole attire. This isn't all of it either. Now he has his EMF shirt on.
Yeah, somebody's hiding my glasses, so I can't find it. This shirt blocks EMF too, by the way.
Little announcement. Manny just started his Instagram, and now that he mentioned his shirt, you guys will now get to see the dad side of things. His page is really inspiring. I know him, and it's actually inspiring me. So you guys should check out his page. He's about dad life. Get it? About that life, about dad life.
Yeah, and I post weird stuff there, so watch out. Warning, heads up. And
doesn't get stranger than Stranger Things. Deprivation tanks.
I wanted to post a picture of me doing a colonic, but Alba approves all my pictures before I upload it, and yeah, I don't think it'll make it to Instagram.
Not a colonic, because a colonic would not be so bad, but enema on yourself. So before we jump into the Q&A, I'll just share something that I feel is necessary for pregnancy. Belly Armor. He actually got this as a gift for Manny's sister-in-law, and she was nice enough, you know, she's not pregnant anymore. She was nice enough to give it to me now that I'm pregnant. And this is in the size 3. This claims to have 99.9% shielding effectiveness for radiation from cell phones, laptops, and other devices. So that's why it's important. This is by the brand Belly Armor by Radius Shield. And I'm wearing it right now, but I wanted to take it off. I planned on having it in my hand but I'm wearing it. But Manny has a picture on his Instagram of me wearing it where you can see what it looks like. And it's not like the standard belly bands that you would buy at the store where it's fitted onto the body with like an elastic. Very different. This one's actually loose on the outside because it does have a shield on the inside. So I think that's why they didn't make it as elasticy as I would like. If they did make it, which is the downside, if they did make it more elastic, it would actually save some money because you wouldn't have to buy different sizes. But because it doesn't stretch, I ended up having to buy one again, even though this one was given back to me from his sister-in-law. So I like this because it reduces my exposure to radiation and electromagnetic waves. So that's cool. So jumping into the questions, this is the most requested question, which is how did I detox before pregnancy? Now this is, I didn't clarify this in the previous video because there isn't just one thing that I did and it's very specific. Basically, detox starts by removing what is bad for you first. So that is how I started. It's a lifestyle change first. You can't expect to take things out of your body, toxins and things like that, out of your body without stopping what's adding the toxins into your body first. And something really important that I did do, other than lifestyle, is in 2014 when I removed my mercury amalgams from my teeth.
Basically, what the detox was is what you guys have been watching Alba do all these years. Since she stopped using the toxic makeup, since she took out her amalgams, her mercury amalgams, dental amalgams, since You know, we switched up, you know, a diet along with little Manny. We switched up our diet. We tried multiple diets along the way, and it's been long term. We have been eating organic. Eating organic doesn't solve all the problems, but you can reduce your pesticide exposure greatly just by doing that. And we had no knowledge of any of this before little Manny. You know, she's tried, you know, a bunch of different things. She's done colonics, basically long-term trying to eat as healthy as possible.
And lastly, about detoxing, I also want to say that I have a doctor that that we trust, and I have done some herbal detoxing along with my doctor's recommendations. So that's another reason why it's hard for me to just tell you guys, take this, take that, buy this, buy that, because I'm not doing this on my own. I have an expert advice as well, along with our own research, and me just trying to clean up my body from the toxic lifestyle that I used to live. And my lifestyle isn't perfect today, but it's basically me trying to clean up and undo some of the damage that I feel I have done.
We changed the cleaning products that we used at home.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first things we did.
She changed all of her beauty products that she uses in the house. We have mattresses. We sleep on mattresses that do not have flame retardants.
Which is why you guys see me promote the mattress that I promote for little Manny and for us on our bed.
Yeah, exactly. We have air filters. We have water purification, and you know, again, clean food. So that's all part of like long-term detoxing. We haven't done any of this before little Manny. Detoxing, we don't drink tap water. And we drink, you know, either filtered water or water that specifies that, you know, they filtered out with a certain process. And there's also a Harvard study that showed that fluoride can damage a baby in the uterus. You guys don't have to listen to us. You know, you can go look it up yourself.
Because this is based on our research and things that, you know, we've found.
This is why we decided to do things this way. It's been working so far. So
something that I can share with you guys that I've mentioned before is I'm taking chlorella every day. But chlorella is super important. I'll actually post a picture right here of the main benefits. This question is for Manny. What is something that he changed as a man to prepare himself for conceiving?
Oh,
You're telling me to narrow my answers down.
I'm extreme. So yeah, I've done colonics. I'm not proud of it.
I've done several. Since we lived in California, that's when he started doing colonics.
Hey, it cleans out your system, but I don't care how, you know, how many health benefits it has. It does not feel good for anything. I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
I did it. He's so dramatic. He's a guy. The first day he did it, he punched the wall because he said it hurt or whatever, but.
You guys in jail, I don't know how you do it, man. I've done multiple things. I've done the sauna. I do sauna like 3 times a week at least. I've done, you know, Niacin Flush. That's a vitamin B3. You take it, your skin burns, you jump in the sauna.
I did it once.
Yeah. I've done sensory deprivation therapy. I've done hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I've done, I don't know, the list goes on and on. I've water fasted, I think for the most, probably 4 days most. I've done intermittent fasting.
He's also done a liver flush.
Yeah. I've done parasite cleanses heavily.
He did that for a long time.
Oh man, there's so much. I can't even.
Just follow him on Instagram because he's talking about, he has like 6 or 7 posts right now, but he's updating and saying things that he finds beneficial. I didn't
do this to prepare to have a child. I was doing this to see how it felt and to make sure I was as healthy as possible. We were trying a lot of different routes with my son. You know, I'm not going to tell him to do a diet if I'm not doing it. Like basically everything we said we were doing with him, I had to do it on myself times 10. So
this is so true. Like even if we go somewhere and we find something new, he won't allow me or little Manny to take it unless he takes it first. It's like when the president is given food, he has like somebody test their food just in case they're poisoning them or whatever. That's basically what he does. So if any of us die, he's gonna die first.
Yeah, thanks. It's so nice way to put it. But none of it was to prepare for a child. Before a lot of questions pop up, I have tried multiple diets. This includes the vegan diet. I've tried the GAPS diet. I've tried ketogenic diet. I've done vegetarian. I've done the no eating diet, whatever diet that is.
It's the water fast.
Yeah, it's
You've done the water fast.
I've done it.
He went on a very spiritual phase. He's still in that spiritual phase, but he went on a very spiritual phase for a while where he wanted to prep himself to do what supposedly Jesus did, 40 days and 40 nights.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that.
He hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, but none of it was prepping to have a kid. It was all just to apply it myself, whatever I felt like might help Manny. And he hasn't tried all those extreme things, it's just me.
No.
Whatever I felt like might help, or whatever I was reading up on, or whatever, I tried it myself first. And today, you know, I try to stick to the things that worked. It might not work for everybody. Everybody's different, I believe, but it worked. You know, a lot of things, you know, helped me a lot. My brain works so much better now. I don't drink alcohol. I fixed my liver up. My liver was freaking barely making it.
That's actually very important. One of the first things you did years ago was stop drinking alcohol. And he drinks kombucha today. And once in a blue, like on a holiday, family occasion, once a year, he'll have like wine or something. And it's one day.
And it's super duper organic. It's
still organic
crushed
wine.
Grapes. And
he'll come with his own wine. Moral of the story is that it's important for women to detox especially if you're planning to conceive, but it's also important for men. And sometimes that's overlooked because you think that it's just women. Although women is highly important, it's also for men as well. Have I noticed anything different from my first pregnancy to this one? And the answer is yes. We can both say yes. Everything is different, from the way I feel, from the pregnancy itself. I could already tell that this baby is going to be different for so many reasons, my symptoms from the beginning. And this goes along with the next question, which is, did I experience any morning sickness in this pregnancy? And if it's different from my first? And the answer is yes again. With my first pregnancy, I had little to no symptoms of any morning sickness or anything like that. The most I got was, you know, I used to live in the city, so I used to commute a lot in the train, and I would get nauseous and dizzy a little bit while on the train, but nothing severe. And with this pregnancy, my first 3 months, which is like the first trimester, was heavily bad. And a lot of you were pointing out in my videos during that time, because I wasn't filming as much, when you did see me, you would say, oh my gosh, did you lose weight? What are you doing to lose weight? And nobody assumed that I was pregnant because I was losing weight. And unintentionally, I was just so nauseous and so sick all the time. And
I hinted to you guys, by the way. Everyone missed the hint when we did the video on the bed.
Oh yes, I know, everyone missed it. No, actually. I
didn't see anybody pick up on it.
One person commented and said that they think we're prepping, like, oh, they're gonna have a baby soon because he's reading that book.
I was reading the Better Baby book.
But nobody assumed that I was pregnant during that video, which was the night routine video.
And everyone...
The lifestyle that I live right now is not the lifestyle I lived when I conceived and when I was pregnant with my first son. Totally different. Back then, my lifestyle was just eating whatever, as long as it was food. I had no conscience of ingredients or what these things mean, what I should be taking, what I shouldn't be taking. I was just going about life like regular. What was Manny's reaction when I told him that I'm pregnant? It wasn't even that big of a deal, like it wasn't a big story, okay? But this is what happened. I decided on that day that I did it, I have a screenshot here of my pregnancy test that I will show you. I decided to take the pregnancy test and I wasn't necessarily expecting anything, but I just felt kind of funny, and I knew that my period was supposed to come either on that week or maybe the week after, something like that. So I felt like it was a good time to take it. I literally had like one pregnancy test in the bathroom and it wasn't expired, so I took it. and it came out positive. I immediately knew that it was accurate. I didn't even take another pregnancy test. I didn't even get a laboratory test at the hospital. And the reason I know that it's accurate is because I've only taken 2 pregnancy tests in my entire life that have come out positive. You know what I mean? Like through moments that I may have thought that I was pregnant, I have only had 2 pregnancy tests positive in my entire life, and it was with my first son and this pregnancy right now. So because it came out positive, I knew immediately. So he was actually working the day that I found out, and he wasn't picking up his phone because he was working, and I really wanted to tell him right away. So instead, I text him a picture of my pregnancy test. He didn't reply right away. When he did reply, he said something like question mark. And I thought that meant like he couldn't see my picture. So I sent a screenshot of the text message of me sending him a picture, just to be clear. And then I wrote, little Manny is going to be a big brother. I don't think he responded in the text message. I think you called me. You were like, are you serious? My birth plan. A lot of people were asking about my birth plan. And there's no surprise here. Like I said in my previous video, I got a midwife, and the reason I got a midwife is because I do plan on having a home delivery. There's a lot of things that I have planned right now that I don't necessarily want to share too much with you guys because, as you may know, just as a precaution, and I'm basically just choosing this route because I have never experienced this route before. My first time with my son was completely different. It's something that I had no knowledge on. So this time around, I just want to do things differently. I did research on this, so this is my decision on to trying something new. And a lot of people were asking if I plan on getting an epidural, Pitocin, and all that, and the answer is no. That is not in my plans. But I don't want to share too much about this right now because I want to go through the process first and then share my story with you guys. I do plan on having some filming done on the day of my delivery, and we hope that happens. And I will share the baby and my story. We'll come together again with the baby and share our experience later on. And also breastfeeding. I am very, very, very excited to finally breastfeed the right way and try my best, because I did not do this with my first son. I did breastfeed at the beginning with my first son, but I feel that I gave up too easily and I wasn't looking to know more about breastfeeding or doing it the right way, or I didn't care or understand the importance of it in the first time around. Now, knowing what I know, I value breastfeeding very highly, and I plan to do it for as long as I can. The next question is a very daring one, but I'm not afraid to talk about it. He's probably more shy about it. And the question is sex life different? My answer is yes and no. It's different in the sense of you have to be cautious that you're pregnant, but it doesn't have to be different. It's pretty much the same. In some ways, it's better. And in some ways, it's limiting. My answer is sometimes it's better than regular sex without being pregnant. And it's for a lot of reasons. It's the emotional part. It's the fact that you know that you're pregnant and that you're in love and you're doing something more than sex, and you're also limited but not limited, because now you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, what if I get pregnant? Be careful with this or be careful with that. There is no limit when it comes to that, but it's limiting in the sense of the things that you're able to do as a pregnant woman. That's all. You gonna say anything?
Yes, it's different.
That's it?
I'm not gonna go into detail.
No, not did I go into detail?
Why do you want to know? Freaking first.
People were telling me that they want this to be anonymous because I asked to not hold back.
No, you want to ask a perverted question, we are putting you out there.
No.
Put their full name and address.
People are just curious, and this is pregnancy talk, and this is real.
Yeah, it's different. And hormones are going to be shifted, and there's going to be different phases.
Is it different for you?
From the first trimester all the way through. There's going to be different, everything is different, everything. Think about when we had little Manny, right? You came from being, just just, you know, with me to now we're a family, right? So everything is different, not just the sex, you know, and with little Manny you were showing a lot more. Today she just looks,
I just look like I have a fat belly, that's all.
She doesn't look pregnant.
People, I walk around and people don't, it's not like people are holding doors yet. You know, like people are not holding doors for me, giving me seats, things like that, because I don't necessarily look super pregnant. I just look like I have a little belly. Like I just may be like, you know, a little chubby in that area.
And one huge thing I can say is that I don't know, there's something about her being pregnant that makes me more attracted.
It's true, he has not a pregnancy fetish. I wouldn't say that. That's disgusting. It's probably like an accomplishment thing in your mind. Like no, I did that.
It's a different type of beauty.
I'll take that. Do I enjoy being pregnant and what I love the most about being pregnant? This pregnancy, I did not enjoy it towards the beginning. I'm starting to just now enjoy it a little more now that my symptoms are more under control. I'm not sick like I was. I don't look forward to the actual pregnancy part. I look forward to the baby and like getting that reward. But I can't say that, oh, this is so fun to be pregnant. I love this and I love that. It's actually not fun. It's rewarding after, and waiting for that reward is what makes it special. And I'm willing to go through this sucky part to get the beautiful baby after.
Yeah, she has days where she wobbles, and then days where she tries to like do like a runway walk, and then
what?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
You said it the other day. She was like, I'm wobbling. I'm like, good, wobble. You're like, oh, but when I have heels on, sometimes I just want to walk. Right? I
didn't say it like that. What I said was, you know, there was a specific day where I caught myself wobbling because I felt kind of like heavy in the very bottom of my belly. So I just felt more comfortable wobbling, even though I don't look huge. The moment I went outside and I like fixed myself up and I put something on and I feel like I was like coming out of the bank or something and I was walking towards the car, I purposely made myself not wobble even though I wanted to wobble so bad. Have we decided to find out the gender of the baby? Good question. So we are doing a gender reveal. You guys will see that gender reveal, hopefully. I'm planning to have someone film that part. There's gonna be a lot of people here, so someone will film it for me so that we can do a video announcing the gender to you guys. But we're doing the gathering with our family and friends first, and that is coming in about a week that we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's next week. If it's a boy, will we try for another child? That's hard to say, like to say yes or no, right? But I do thinking realistically, if I do end up having another boy, then at some point I may feel this unsettling feeling like I'm not fully accomplished yet or something. So naturally I think I would want to try for another at some point. I'm not saying that it would happen right away or anything like that.
And then we have another boy.
What prenatals am I taking? Now this is also a tricky question because this is all based on our own experience, our own decision based on our research. What I can say is that I'm not taking a standard prenatal vitamin pill that you would just like go get at the store that's available, which is why I avoid mentioning and talking about this with you guys, because it's not as easy as to just tell you go get this, right? I don't know what type of lifestyle you guys are on. Everybody's so different. I just know that based on the lifestyle that I have, I prefer to choose what brands and where each of my vitamins come from. Because I work with a doctor, we have learned to like this brand or not like that brand or like this brand, and there's also some brands that I'm using right now that are not even available in stores. And my prenatal set is not an actual prenatal bottle that says prenatal pills for pregnant women. It's something that we ourselves looked into and said, okay, this is what pregnant women should be taking. This is what's important. And we looked at many different sources, and then we went and found brands that we trust to make sure that I'm taking things that I need just from all different brands, which is why it's so difficult to relate that to you guys and just say, go get this. This is what I'm taking. I don't want you guys to follow what prenatal I'm taking just because I'm taking it.
Funny story, our midwife asked Alba, what prenatal are you taking? And she said, my husband made me a prenatal and threw me under the bus.
I was just trying to say it simply to her, like, oh, we created our own and my husband made it for me, which is true.
And then the midwife is like, oh, really? Who do you think you are?
She didn't say it like that, he's exaggerating.
But I would suggest you guys, if you're gonna get a prenatal, look, you know, obviously your baby's worth it. Look for the best, you know, go up and beyond, do research. Look, you know, look into the difference between folic acid and folate.
Oh yes, that's very important to know.
There was a study that came out on pregnant women with vitamin D deficiency and the link with autism.
What are some things that I've changed and I'm avoiding when it comes to eating with this pregnancy? So the main thing that I would say has changed, because like we said before, I've already done a lifestyle change, so there isn't that much. The main things I can say is caffeine. I completely stopped caffeine. You guys know I was a coffee lover, I was a tea lover, and until recently discovering that I was pregnant, I was drinking matcha tea practically every day, which was my way of taking a break from coffees. Luckily, I wasn't drinking coffee when I found out that I was pregnant. I was drinking matcha tea, and I even stopped that, even though matcha has a little less than coffee does. I stopped it because I just don't feel okay with drinking caffeine. And I have to address this because apparently some people don't know this, because in the messages that I received, like they were telling me that they're pregnant at the moment, and they say I stopped drinking coffee, but sometimes once in a blue I drink it. Me personally, I'm not okay with drinking it at all. Like, my husband drinks it sometimes. He's not drinking it right now. He goes on and off with it. Although it smells good and things like that, I cannot bring myself to drink it because I understand that it is not good for the baby and it is not good for the baby's heart, and that's what I believe. And I'm also not eating any chocolate. So like no chocolate milk, no chocolate candy, no chocolate bars and things like that. And I'm a big chocolate lover. And this question goes along with cravings. How do I deal with cravings and staying healthy? So my idea on cravings has changed so much. I'll give you guys an example so you understand what I mean. I haven't had a lot of cravings, but recently I craved, like a month ago, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I don't want to eat peanut butter for several reasons. To avoid that, then I had my husband pick me up almond butter, an organic almond butter, and we have jelly that we get from a farm that we order from, a local farm, and we have sourdough bread that we get sometimes. So that made the most delicious alternative to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So instead I made almond butter and jelly, and the jam was wonderful because it's handmade from the farm and we know what's in it. It's very minimal ingredients. There's no added sugar in it. It tastes really good, and that fulfilled my craving because I didn't necessarily have to have the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's kind of like a memory and something that I wanted. Knowing what I know, I replaced it with almond butter and jelly, and it worked and it tastes great, and there you go. I'm not a huge ice cream lover and I'm not a huge vanilla lover, and because I'm avoiding chocolate, I haven't really craved these things. But I have my own ice cream maker, and his name is Manny, and he makes ice cream for me. So if I ask him to make ice cream for me, he will. We have an ice cream machine, and like I said, I'm not a huge vanilla lover, but he makes the only vanilla ice cream that I actually like. So that is a big thing, because when I am craving ice cream, if I do, just not often, he makes it for me. Have I experienced any breakouts with this pregnancy? I did experience breakouts with my first pregnancy for a short amount of time, and then it went away. My skin was clear, although my skin was very different back then. Okay, so just letting you know that. This time around, my skin has not gotten not one pimple, not one breakout. Don't want to jinx it, but my skin has been more amazing than ever before. Also my nails. I have not experienced that with my hair. My hair has not been doing better than it was before. It's not growing longer. It's so funny how that works. With my first son, my hair grew really long and it kept growing throughout the pregnancy, and it was beautiful and long. this time around, my hair is not growing significantly. I mean, it's just the same. And if anything, it's drier than ever. What is the key to happiness? How to stay married, in love, and manage kids? It's a very deep question that we could actually have like a whole video on, so we'll both try to minimize that answer.
Well, my belief is we don't have a key to happiness. What we do is we keep trying. So, you know, things get hard, we fight, we argue, we go through hard things in life.
That's important to say. Everyone argues, you know, in a relationship.
I don't know if everyone does, but we do. And
yeah, because I mean, everybody sees the best of us, right? They do.
Yeah.
You don't see the ins and outs, but just like standard other people, there are arguments and there are ups and downs.
Yeah, and Alba, she hits you, and she has like this knife that she pulls out. It's a butterfly knife. But
you know, in these times right now, it's not good to joke about it because somebody will be like, "Oh, I bet that's true."
I think happiness is the way you look at things, you know? And I think it doesn't take much for you to be happy. You have to be grateful. Look at what you have and not what you don't. And
it's so true. It depends on like what you value as happiness, or what you expect out of happiness, what your definition of happiness is.
You know, if something happens, if I can tell myself to have understanding for a situation, it makes me look at the situation completely different. And, you know, I start to put myself in that person's position, or in this case, Alba's position, and be like, okay, you know, how does it feel to be in that scenario? You know, what's going on there? And then it'll help diffuse the situation on my side.
It's true, and I think it helps also when you just try to communicate. Like, I'm not the best. He's good at communicating, I'm not the best at it, but knowing that and admitting that, I have to remind myself that and know what my faults are and what I'm necessarily not doing enough of, and remind myself of that, this way we can both meet each other in between. I also want to say that it depends on what you're willing to do for one another and willing to sacrifice in your, because it's two people, right? I have certain things that are important to me and he has certain things that are important to him, and we have things that are important to each other. This is why it works. We are both the type of people that is willing to sacrifice certain things in our separate life so that we can be together, because this is more important to us. Knowing that you really value being together and you're willing to do anything to be with one another is what really makes it work. And the other person would see that based on how you handle things when you do get into those tough situations.
The door isn't that easy to access. Like, for every little thing, we don't think about, okay, this isn't gonna work, you know? Yeah. I feel like today it's too easy. People are like,
I know, yeah,
so quick to, you know, find something they dislike and say, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next person, or I'm gonna get out of this relationship. Not saying that there aren't any like toxic relationships out there, but
yeah, but it's also very easy.
Yeah, it's too easy. I think that's what's going on. Is real common out there today.
So with being able to manage your love life and seeing one another be parents and be proud of one another as parents, I think that helps even more. Because if children are involved and you're managing children, to see both people trying their best at managing children and a love life and work and all these things at once, which can be difficult, having understanding with each other and everything. I hope that answers the question, where as long as you have that established bond and you both care about the same things, you make it work.
I think kids make it easier. That's what I think. Kids make it easier.
Don't have kids to fix your marriage or anything. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Kids make it easier. If I didn't have Manny,
it depends.
If I didn't have Manny, I'd be a full-time tripod for Alba. That's it. That would be my job in this world.
And you also wouldn't care about any of this. Like, without Manny, our life would not be like this.
No, not at all.
The reason I'm even talking to you guys about a healthy pregnancy and what I do and what I eat and you know, my natural makeup and stuff like that is because of my son. So
Everything.
do I fear my body figure changing? And I'm very proud to say that for the first time, I do not. And it's not because I don't think it will change. I do expect it to change. I'm very aware of that. I'm gonna go through some crazy process. And just like my first son, my body did change, but with my first son, it actually changed for the better. I came from being super skinny and complaining about my body to getting curves that I've always wanted and getting a little bit of more weight. And although it was hard to manage that weight, I was in the best, I feel like I looked the best ever a year after having my son. And I maintained it for a while, and it wasn't until recently that I lost it, but I learned, if you guys have seen my plastic surgery video, I've learned to appreciate what I do have, and I'm not necessarily in a place where I want to bash myself and bring myself down. I feel more like if I feel I don't like something, then I have to do something about it. But with pregnancy, I'm very proud to say that my mind isn't there. And whatever my body turns out to be, I will deal with it later. I don't think this is the time for me to think about I should be doing this or doing that so that my body figure isn't messed up or whatever. People are asking about what products I'm using and what products I'm planning on using for the baby. I'm not sharing that in this video because we're just answering questions here, but I will be having a pregnancy beauty video and a pregnancy routine where I will dedicate to showing you guys all the fun stuff. Last question, where to get information on healthy pregnancy, whether it may be books, DVDs, movies, etc. One thing that I really love throughout this pregnancy that I feel will be beneficial for you guys to look into, even if you're not pregnant right now, it's just good to have, is this book called The Mama Natural Book. I've learned a lot of things from there, and I agree with a lot of things on the book. And it's just basically giving you all these routes through every week of your pregnancy, what's possible to happen, what options you have, whether it may be the standard medical way, or it may be an alternative, or it may be anything like that. The book has it all, and I really love that. And I also recommend The Better Baby book by Dave Asprey and Lana Asprey, which Manny got and Manny was reading in that video that we mentioned. And I also recommend just going online and going to the Mercola.com website and just typing in anything specific that you're looking for in the search bar at the website, and a lot of articles will come up. I love Dr. Mercola and his website, and it's really good for those things. So yeah, those are my recommendations for now.
I think Mercola, wherever you guys, that's usually where I go for a lot of my stuff.
Manny's like super
Shout out
tired.
to Mercola. I'm exhausted right now.
He's super tired. It's nighttime right now. It's very late. So we're ending this video now. That was the last question. I will most likely place links and more information in the description box below that will add on to places and resources that you guys could go to. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Bye!